Madness in the Dark is a feature film for Series 2 of Final Girl where you'll be fighting against Ratchet Lady and her maniacs in Wolfe Asylum. In this video, I'll go over the special rules for Ratchet Lady and Wolfe Asylum, how Ratchet Lady's maniac minions work, and then finally clarify some commonly misplayed rules and cards. If you want a general overview of how to play Final Girl, then check out my rules video before you watch this one. Ratchet Lady's health starts at 6 and she comes with 6 red maniac meeples. Add 2 maniacs to her starting space on the board and set the other 4 maniacs aside for now. Finally, add the 2 calm action cards to the action tableau. Wolfe Asylum comes with 10 pill tokens. Shuffle them face down and then add 4 to the board as shown on the setup card by this pill symbol. All pills should be placed face down on the board. Place the pill effects reference card next to the board, then draw 1 pill and place it face up in the available pills area beneath the card. Place the remaining 5 pills face down next to the play area to form a pool to draw from later in the game. Finally, shuffle the amped and side effects cards and place them next to the play area. Wolfe Asylum has 4 different types of pills, 3 yellow, 3 blue, 3 pink, and 1 wild that can count as any color. You start the game with 1 pill and can pick up more around the asylum. If you're stopped on a space with a pill, you can spend 1 time to pick it up, reveal it, and add it to your available pills for later. You must be stopped in the space. You can't pick up a pill while moving through it. At any point during the action phase, you may consume as many pills as you want for free. You can take 1 pill at a time or combine them for increased effects but also increased side effects. After consuming pills, place them in a discard area, and if the draw pile of pills ever runs out, shuffle the discards to create a new one. All the pill effects are shown on the pill effects reference card. Taking a single yellow pill heals you for 1 heart, blue lets you move 1 space, and pink reduces the horror level by 1. Consuming a single pill has no side effects, but combining 2 or more will have you drawing cards from the side effects deck, which I'll talk more about in a minute. Combining a yellow and blue pill recovers all your health. Combining yellow and pink gains you 5 time, and combining blue and pink reduces the horror level by 3. Last but not least, combining 1 of each color will get you 1 amped card for the rest of the game. After combining 2 or 3 pills and applying their effects, you'll need to draw some side effect cards. Taking 2 pills has you draw 2 side effect cards, and taking 3 pills has you draw 3 side effect cards. Draw them 1 at a time from the side effect deck and apply the effects shown. Some cards in the deck have no effect and others will tell you to stop drawing. Just follow the instructions on the cards until you're told to either stop or you've drawn the required number of cards. After combining 3 pills together, 1 of each color, you get to draw an amped card which provide powerful new abilities to your Final Girl. The amped card is active for the rest of the game and you can have multiple if you're lucky enough to collect enough pills to do so. Remember that there's 1 wild pill that can count as any color when you use it. The other new mechanic at Wolfe Asylum is stunning enemies, and some item cards have the stunned keyword on them. Only enemies can become stunned, and when they do, place a stun token underneath them. During the next killer phase, they will ignore all boot icons but will still attack if directed to do so. During the upkeep phase, discard all stun tokens from underneath enemies. That's everything for Wolfe Asylum, so let's look at Ratchet Lady next. She starts with 6 health but has no maximum health. This means that if a tarot card, bloodlust effect, or anything else heals her, then you add the health no matter what, even if she's still at her starting health of 6. Her health can quickly get out of hand, so watch out. Ratchet Lady also starts with 2 maniacs in her space and can convert victims to maniacs throughout the game. Maniacs are minions with 1 health, 1 movement, and 1 attack. Even though maniacs are former victims, they will not follow you and cannot be saved. Some tarot cards, like this one, will turn victims into maniacs. When this happens, replace the yellow meeple with a red one, but do not increase bloodlust since no one died. Note that special victims from events can never become maniacs, only normal victims. There is also a limit of 6 maniacs since that's how many red meeples are included, so if you are instructed to spawn a new maniac and all 6 are already on the board, then just ignore it. When a maniac is killed, return the red meeple back to the available pool of maniacs and don't increase bloodlust since they aren't considered a victim anymore. Maniacs like to gang up on the Final Girl. If you move out of or through a space with maniacs, then you must lose health equal to the number of maniacs on that space greater than the first. So if there's only 1 maniac, you can leave the space without losing health, but if there's 2 maniacs, you'll lose 1 heart, and if there's 3 maniacs, you'll lose 2 hearts, and so on. Maniacs are a special type of enemy called a minion, and there are general rules for minions in the core rulebook, so let's go over them now. First, any reference to an enemy on a tarot card, item, event, or anything else refers to both minions and killers. Any references to the killer, however, do not apply to minions, and any references to minions do not apply to the killer. Victims will follow you into spaces with minions unless that space also contains the killer. Attacking minions is slightly different, and you can kill more than one with a single attack. If you are on a space with 2 maniacs and roll a successful furious strike doing 2 damage, you can kill both maniacs since they each have 1 health. But you can't damage both minions and the killer with a single attack, so if you are attacking in a space with both Ratchet Lady and maniacs, then you need to declare your target before making the roll. If you kill a maniac, remove it from the board and place it back in the maniac pool so it will be available later. Finally, victims that are in a space with a minion will panic during the panic phase when a victim has died that turn, just like they do with the killer. During the killer phase, all minions will perform the minion action shown on the back of the finale card with an M, one at a time. Then the killer will perform the killer action, and then you'll flip a tarot card. The default minion action for Maniacs is to target the final girl and move towards her. Remember, their movement value is 1. Once all minions have done the action, then Ratchet Lady will target the closest victim or final girl and attack. Finally, you flip a tarot card. When a killer action shows up on a tarot card, then all minions will perform that action first, and then the killer will perform the action last. So if you draw this tarot card, you'll first draw 2 side effects, then each maniac will target the closest victim or final girl, move towards them and attack, then Ratchet Lady will target the closest victim or final girl, move towards them and attack, and finally you'll draw an event. Just to reiterate, during the killer phase, all minions perform the minion action one at a time, then the killer performs the killer action, and finally they both perform any killer actions on the tarot card. This is to make them compatible with other locations' tarot cards through all the feature films. With all these maniacs running around the asylum, you're going to need some way of dealing with them. You can attack and kill them, of course, but there's also a new calm action available in the action tableau. There are 2 copies of calm and they cost 2 time to purchase. On 2 successes, you could convert up to 2 maniacs in your space or an adjacent space back to victims. On 1 success, you can convert 1 maniac back to a victim, but you also increase the bloodlust by 1. And on a fail, you have a choice. The first option is to convert 1 maniac back to a victim, increase bloodlust by 1, and end the action phase, or just increase the horror by 1 and lose 2 time. When you calm a maniac, simply replace it with a yellow victim and return the red meeple to the available pool. That's all the special rules for Ratchet Lady and Wolfe Asylum, so now I'm going to go over some commonly misplayed rules and cards. First is a misprint on the knife item card that's included in Wolfe Asylum. The range should be 0 like all the other knives in the game and not 1. Speaking of weapons, there are a number of weapons that have a drawback to using them, so I wanted to point out that you don't have to use a weapon when you attack. You just need to decide if you're using the weapon or not before you roll to attack. Next is the Hospital Gurney event, which places a gurney on your space and it can move with you and you can place 2 victims on it. This doesn't mean that you can carry 4 victims with you, it's still limited to only 2. Later, you can ram the gurney into an enemy to do 1 damage plus 1 additional damage for each victim on it. The victims are killed and bloodlust will increase as normal. The Powerful Meds event says to draw an additional side effect card when taking pills, so you'll now have to draw 1 side effect when taking 1 pill. The First Aid Kit heals an additional 1 when using a heal action. This works with the short rest and long rest action cards, but not when taking pills. And finally, the Hannibal the Cannibal event spawns a special victim to the solitary confinement space who kills victims every upkeep phase. Since upkeep happens after the panic phase, victims will not panic after his kill. And he doesn't count as an enemy, so even if a victim died this turn, victims in his space will not panic. If Hannibal is killed, you decrease the horror, but you cannot attack him because he's a victim and not an enemy. He will follow you though, and if you save him, the horror level will increase by 1. Alright, and that's how you play Madness in the Dark. Let me know in the comments what you think of this feature film and how you'd rate it compared to the others in Series 2. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to me on YouTube. If you want to check out more of my videos, then click the links on the screen, and maybe you'll find a new game to play. And with that, Michael Skeleton is out.